Hello and welcome to the Career Corner, where we answer your career cues. I'm your host, Lucas Kauffman, and today joining us in the Career Corner, we've got a fantastic guest. Today we are joined by Zawadi, Boyce, to talk about scholarships and scholarship opportunities and how to navigate all of that in your time at school and beyond and before. Zawadi, welcome to the Career Corner.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you here. So we're going to jump right into things. Let's start it off by can you share some things about yourself and your experience as an MLK scholar?
Yeah, so hi. I am a senior here at Ithaca College. So I'm graduating in about 3 weeks. It's a little scary. And yeah, I am an MLK scholar. It is a great scholarship program here at Ithaca College and a bunch of other schools around the country. I found out a little bit about it um, my senior year. I think my mom had heard about it from someone else, and she was like, "You need to look into this. Like, scholarships are super important. College is crazy expensive, so it's important to look at different scholarship opportunities." And I found the MLK scholarship here at Ithaca, and I applied for it. I had to write a personal essay and do a bunch of things. And then I heard back, got the interview, did that, and it worked out really well. And it's been great ever since. It's a cohort, so each class comes in with a group of people that you stay in a cohort with your entire time at Ithaca. I think mine was about 12 people. I know the one the year after me was like six because it was the COVID years.
Mm.
But it's been great, and just having that group of people at Ithaca to be able to communicate with, and just to be in your corner throughout your time here has been really great. So
Incredible. So what does it mean to be an MLK scholar? What does that entail? Like, are there requirements that you have to do, and what does the program offer you?
yeah, so there are requirements to being an MLK scholar. With one, it's just there's the GPA requirement, so you need to have a 3.3 each semester, and it gets reevaluated at the end of every semester. If you don't meet that, you have a meeting to talk with your advisor, talk about different things that they can do to help you. It's a very supportive group, and I found it to be really helpful, especially my first year. I started college on Zoom, which was a mess. But I know that I started to fall behind a little bit just because I hadn't been in school in months. I just getting back into the swing of things. Also, I'd never been in college before. So just not knowing exactly how to navigate. But I remember my first semester, I was slacking a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But I had my the leader of the program at the time, like I was gonna say pull me aside, but Zoom call me and be like, what's going on? How can we help you? So that's been really cool. Also, you have different community service projects that you do throughout the years, and you have to do specific, like certain SLIs and certain things like that just to stay within the good standing of MLK. And each year there's like a different focus. So one year is like leadership in the community, one's leadership um, outside. And it's just there's like different things over the course of the years. Um, and you get to go on different trips. So our every freshman class in MLK, or in our case, sophomore year, you go on a civil rights tour, which is really cool. So you go with your cohort and the leaders of the program, and we went down to Atlanta and Alabama and saw a lot of different historical sites, which was really cool. And it was a really good learning experience and a really cool just thing to get to do because you don't typically get to go to a lot of historical sites like that. So that was really cool. And in I want to say freshman year, we all took a civil rights seminar class together. So there's different things that happen over the course of the 4 years that you get to do, and it's really cool.
Incredible. And so you're provided financial aid through the program, and you get to go on these trips. Are there any other things that the program offers you beyond those things you've already mentioned?
Yeah, I would say the program provides a really good sense of community. That's one thing that's really important to me. I feel like I've always thrived having like a safety net and a group of people that I can turn to. And MLK is really great for that, especially going to a PWI. You don't often find yourself in situations where a whole group of people look like you, or like experience the same things that you do on a daily basis. So just having that community to go to turn to have conversations with that you might not get to in other settings has been really beneficial over the course of this whole time. And also just even if we all are different majors and all do different things, it's cool to like meet back up at like our monthly meetings or whenever we see each other at different events, and just it's kind of like a family reunion. It's really cute. We're all like, "Oh my God, it's so good to see you." It's a good time.
Incredible. So, uh, there's a lot of requirements. You have to keep your GPA up, and you also get to do lots of really cool stuff like go on trips and things like that. And even when you're doing fun stuff, that still is something that you're doing besides class. So, how do you balance, just being a part of this program with your academic and extracurricular commitments?
It is definitely a lot. I at times it hasn't always been the easiest because, I do a bunch of other things, a bunch of other clubs, ICTV, different things. And so it does get to be difficult sometimes, just making sure you're keeping up with all your requirements on time. But again, it's good to have that group to keep you accountable. Also, our leaders of the program, like I said, they will call you out and let you know if you're not um, holding up your end of the bargain. A lot of the trips do fall on breaks, so you're not missing classes. So freshman year, the trip fell over fall break, which I know you're like, oh man, it's fall break, but it's a really cool time. So yeah, they fall over breaks, and the most recent trip, you also go on another trip your senior year. So it is kind of like sort of like the wrap up other end of the program where we go back down and see a lot of the same people. And that takes place during winter break. So those don't really coincide with school time or class work. In terms of the community service thing, they're pretty lenient with what you're able to do. My community service happened to be like over Zoom, so that was really cool. I was able to schedule my own times around that, and you just have to get them done within the year. So it's not like you need to have these 20 hours this week. It's like you can space them out, make them work for you. Same with the SLI. So, and as long as you communicate with the leaders of our program, like they're very like helpful, and they're not going to be like, well, why didn't you get it done right now? Because they know that we're also students first. And so, yeah, it's pretty good. As long as you communicate, you'll be able to make things work.
Amazing. So now jumping back in time a little bit, you already talked a little bit about how important it was to you and your family to find a scholarship to be able to go to college,
Yeah.
which is, a lot of people experience that. So going back in time, how did you discover the MLK scholarship program? And can you share with us more of the details about the application process?
Yeah. So it's been a minute. So let me think about that a little bit. Um, my mom was huge in helping with figuring out different scholarships because, like we said, college is crazy expensive, especially now, and it's only getting worse. Um, so I'm out of here. But no, I'm just kidding. So I remember it was after I had applied to like a couple different schools. And my mom was like, okay, like, so now that you have applications in, it's like we have to look at like the different scholarship programs you can get like in schools, and just like different scholarships that apply to multiple different schools, just because like anything helps really. And I remember, I don't know how she found, I feel like I think she heard about it from someone, or she just had looked up a bunch of scholarships and saw the MLK scholarship program, which is, a POC scholarship group that a lot of different schools have. I think it's expanding a lot more now, but it's really big here at Ithaca. And I remember she sent it to me, and I remember I was at the place. It was senior year. I think this was right before the pandemic hit too. So I was like, I don't want to do any more applications. I don't want to do this anymore. But she was like, you're doing it. And so I remember there was like a period of time, probably like January of 2020. I was just like writing a bunch of different essays. I applied for a lot of different scholarships through different programs and in and outside of school. And uh, MLK hit me back up, and I did the rest of the process. So yeah, it was like I had to write an essay, did the application, and then it was an interview over Zoom. And I was able to sort of have a conversation like this, and I got really lucky, and I ended up in the finalists for that, and then I got the scholarship to be a part of the cohort. And I'm so grateful for it because it does help a lot, and I've been able to do a lot of different things. I've been able to study abroad because they help cover that as well. So just it gave me a lot of opportunities, and it is ultimately one of the reasons I ended up coming to Ithaca because um, they gave me that scholarship, and it like was the best option for me. So yeah.
Yeah. So how does the MLK scholarship application and program compare to other scholarship programs you applied for?
I think this one I liked because it wasn't fully reliant just on the essay or just on your GPA. I was able to actually meet with a person and have a conversation. And I feel like and it was a one-on-one conversation. I did some scholarship interviews where it was like a group of like 10 people on a Zoom and just me, and I like could not handle that. And they were not giving me that like sort of like nodding and like I'm hearing you. They were just like, okay, next. And that's not the best way for me to handle certain things, or like I'm not the best in those kind of situations. So I think just having that one-on-one conversation and also just like feeling heard and feeling like we were having more of a conversation, less of like an interrogation, um, was really helpful for me. And I feel like I was able to like talk more about me and like show more of my personality and like who I was, rather than just like them looking at a paper and be like, so you have this GPA and you did this, this, and this. So I felt like that was one of the main differences. Yeah, that's probably the main thing that stood out to me, and I think is honestly what helped me get this scholarship, because it wasn't just like, so I see this on paper and da da da. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. So is high school like that senior, junior, senior year? Is that the only time you're able to apply for scholarships? Is it ever too late to apply?
I don't think, well, for this particular one, you do need to, but I'm pretty sure throughout your college experience, you can find different scholarships, and they might not be as, every year consistent, but you can definitely apply to different things and different grants like throughout your college experience. I've been really lucky with the scholarship, but no, yeah, you can definitely apply to different things throughout your time.
Incredible, incredible. So you've been in this program for 4 years now. You're graduating. Congratulations, by the way, on your
Thank you.
graduation
Thank you.
upcoming. Can you share any memorable experiences or connections that you've made through your scholarship?
Yeah, actually, one of the best friends I've made in college, I made through this scholarship. We met, she actually graduated early, so she graduated last year. But we actually met, we both took the same summer course. I don't know if they still do it, but like in the summer, that summer 2020, and I think into 2021, you could also take like three or up to 3 or 4 summer classes discounted. I don't really remember all the details, but I took, and I remember thinking I had to take three. So that was my mistake. Or my mom made it seem like I had to take three. I don't know. But and we just happened to be in the same summer class. And she reached out to me, DM'd me, and was like, hey, it seems like we have a lot in common. And oh my God, also I found out you're an MLK scholar. And so we just like started talking from then, and we became really good friends. We actually pitched a show together sophomore year that's still going on. It's Blacklisted. It's
Oh yeah, Black. Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
I'm
oh my
I'm
God.
I'm big on. Yeah, I do a lot of ICTV. I know
Oh my God,
Blacklisted. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, so that's our show. We pitched it a couple years back. It's going to just had it just passed it on actually because I'm leaving. But yeah, so we were able to do that. It's like the one Black entertainment show on ICTV. And that's something that I never would have done on my own, most likely. Like if we had never met, and then if she was never like, do you want to pitch the show together? Like we could do something really big. So I feel like that's one of like the biggest things to come out of MLK for me. And I'm super grateful for that friendship, and I'm super grateful for what we created. And it's still going on. It's going to be its 5th season next semester. So I'm excited.
amazing. Congratulations on that. And how did
Thank
that
you.
feel passing that torch down?
Oh man, it's a lot. I actually started crying, which I was not expecting. I went to the pitch. I went to go watch the new producers pitch. Two of them are zoomed in from London, and one is here, and he's a freshman, going to be a sophomore. And they just were pitching the show, and I wasn't allowed to say anything. I was just sitting in the room, but like I started crying, and I wasn't expecting to, but just seeing something that we like came up with like get passed on was really cool.
Amazing. Now, I'm sure this is already evident for our listeners based on all the social things that you've described already from that you've gotten from this program. But how would you say that the MLK scholarship program has contributed to your college experience?
Um, Well, it's the reason I have a college experience for one, so that's really cool. I feel like I've learned a lot. I feel like taking that civil rights seminar my freshman year, I actually learned so many things that I never was taught in high school or before, which is so sad to think about if you really think about it. But um, so I learned a lot there. Also just like learning to hold myself accountable and just like knowing how to balance different things. Um, I've learned different leadership skills, not only from that, but also like to bring into my other things, to bring into my campus job, to bring into ICTV. And I think just knowing that I have a support system here is really important. And the connections that you form there, like I feel like the POC community at Ithaca is so connected, especially because of where we go and just how many of us there are. But yeah, just like being able to use those connections in different areas, like for my show, like talking to people in MLK that run other clubs and then having them come on the show and just do different things like that. It's been really cool. So I think just that connection and just that spans all throughout campus is really cool.
Amazing. And do you have any advice for students that are seeking scholarship opportunities?
I would say go for as many as you can. I know if you're a senior or just even starting college or in college already, like you're so busy, I get it. And you don't want to like take the extra time to look at the different things. I know I didn't, but my mom said I had to, so I did. And it worked out really well. And you never know what's going to be the thing that works. And it could be one thing, it could be a million different things. I just feel like you should put yourself out there for as many opportunities as you can, because you never know what's going to be the one to really like change your life and really help you out in the long run. So that would be my biggest piece of advice is to just go for as many things as possible
And listen to your mom.
and listen to your mom. She's
And
gonna love that.
yeah, it's good. You always got to listen. As much as you butt heads with your mom, you're like, ah, geez, mom, I don't want to do this. She tends to usually be right. In my experience, I've found that my mom is
Yeah.
almost always right. As much as I
And she knows it too.
she knows it. Yeah. So Zawadi, thank you for joining. Is there any last bits of MLK scholarship thoughts or opinions or advice that you have before we close out our episode here?
I mean, I don't know if it's an MLK scholarship thought, but if you're going into college, make the most of it. Take in all the opportunities you can because before you know it, you're going to be at the end and it's scary and you're going to wish that you did the things that you wanted to do that you didn't do. So just make the most of it.
Amazing. Well, Zawadi, thank you so much for joining us on the Career
Yeah.
Corner.
Thank you, Lucas, for having me.
It's been great. A little bit of a shorter episode, but I feel like a lot of great information here about scholarships and specifically the MLK scholarship program. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
And folks at home, you do not have to wait for our next episode to get career guidance. You can visit drop-in hours every weekday from 11 to 2 in Muller Faculty Center 101. I'm Lucas Kauffman, and this is Career Corner.